Welcome back to another video by Mr. Project. In today's video we are going to start prepping the doors, so that means absolutely stripping everything we can off the doors, getting them all sanded up. But before we do that, if you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2, go back and watch them now. But if you have, stay tuned, let's go and get the job done. Got the door all sitting here ready to go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these moulds off the doors. As you can see, previous owners put a rivet in there. So this is just one of many things that we're going to have to fix up on this whole car. There's another one down this end. So we'll drill them out. Pretty sure we're going to have to weld up the other side. So let's start now, and we'll try and get this off without breaking it, and then pull all the locks and stuff and strip the door. Let's get it done. What I have just done is I removed the door handle and I removed the lock. I couldn't really film it, I didn't have anyone here to hold the camera. But basically there's two bolts holding that on, and then there's a little clip that holds this on. You just knock the clip out, lock falls out, and then you disconnect the little rod down there, disconnect that. Same thing on the door handle, pretty straightforward. So now I'm just going to go around and knock this rubber off, and that'll be the door done, ready to go. So it's now a new day. We've got one door stripped. We've got this other door stripped here. So now we're going to start making a start on this one. We're going to get all the door molds and strip it down basically like this. And then once this one's done and the other rear, we are going to get them all prepped up ready for paint. So I'll get these done and knock them out, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. First door stripped down. On the back, the door handle is very hard to get out, so I'm going to explain how you do it. So basically you've got your lock here, you want to unscrew your lock, and then you've got a little rubber seal in here which I've pulled out, and then I've been able to move the whole locking mechanism out of the way. And down inside here you will see that is where the other nut is, just there. That's the other nut for the door handle, and that one is there. If you don't move this out of the way, you cannot get access to that nut that's in there. Just a little tip. One thing I haven't explained, I think it got a bit dark and I didn't film it, but taking these rubbers off. So I've made this little tool. I know you can buy things like this. It's just a screwdriver that I've notched out, and you go along and there is these little tiny clips. The ones that I can't get, I'll just come back later and I'll pull that out with a pair of long nose pliers, and I'll just sit it back in the rubber into the little hole. But the ones that I can get, I'll just go along. It's very hard to do this one hand. Find out exactly where it is. Where is it? Just there. Trying to do this one-handed. Get that underneath there and just pull it out. There you go. Just like that. So I'm going to go along and do that. And the top of this, when I get to it, I'll show you what it is. It's just a little channel that this sits in, and you just pull it out. I've gone around and got all the clips out, all the rubbers off the bottom side of this. I will show you. Basically, this rubber, it just sits in a little seal here. So you can just pull that straight out. No dramas at all. Nice and easy. And then this door is stripped, ready to go. And we'll get it all sanded up and whack some paint on it. But before we do that, there's one more to go. Door. So everything that I didn't want to get paint on, I've covered it up, including that little lock covered up here. The door card's going to cover most of this, and I don't want to get paint inside on all the mechanisms and stuff like that. So we're just going to paint this edge here, so when the door card's on, it's going to look all the same color. So this is basically where I'm at. There was a small little imperfection here, so I've just done a little bit of bog work on that. So now we are probably going to wax and grease this whole inside of the door. I'm gonna do all the insides of the doors first before I do any work on the outsides of the doors. So we're gonna lay down some primer, and obviously before we do that, we're gonna get some wax and grease and remove all the crap off it, and then we're gonna lay down a little bit of paint. And I'm unsure whether or not I'm just gonna paint this whole door and then do the next one and the next one and the next one. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I feel like doing. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. It's now getting pretty late during the day, so I'm thinking I'm probably not going to get these doors done. I don't want to rush anything. I sort of want, you know, a decent job. So I've primed this one down. I'm going to mix up some base coat. I'm going to start laying down the base coat, and then I'm going to clear it. And if I only get this door done today, I only get this door done. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to move on to another one and just get another one done, and we'll just slowly tackle this job. There's no rush. So if you want a decent job, you're just going to have to take your time. Just going along, there was a little bit of reaction because the same thing as what happened over here, just crappy paint underneath it. So laid down some primer, sanded it, got rid of all the reactions, laid down some more primer. So we're just waiting for that to dry. It's all looking pretty good. And then we are going to get our base coat and start laying it down. And basically the next video you see will be a time lapse of us painting it. Let's get it done. Thing I wanted to add in between coats, like changing colors or going from base to clear, I'm using different mixing cups every time. One use, throw it away, and then I'm absolutely cleaning out inside the gun. I pull everything apart and clean it all down, wipe it all down with thinners, just so I don't get a mix of colors in between coats. So that's just a good practice. Look, once again, I'm not a painter. This is just what I do to make sure that I get a nice color, and then when I go to put my clear on, I make sure I clean all the gun out, and then I will mix the clear up and put that down. Because if you've got colors and stuff in there and you put the clear down, you might end up spraying black on your white or white on your black. You don't want that. So that's just another little tip. But anyway, I'm going to mix this clear up and get it down. I'm about to lay down the second coat of clear. I've allowed 5 minutes of flash time just so I can tack off a little bit, because your first clear coat is sort of like a glue, so your second one can stick to it. You don't really want to pack it on too much. So now I'm going to lay down a nice thick coat, which should then give us a nice glossy finish. And if it's not the best, I might let it tack off and do 3 coats, but I'm probably just going to do 2. So let's hit it up now. Here it is, it's all finished. I ended up doing 3 coats just because it was a bit peely in some places, but I tell you what, it looks so good. Hopefully the gloss will stay this way as it dries, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's all turned out. Not too bad at all. So we'll let this dry, and we'll come back and we'll check on it after it starts tacking off. This has now been sitting for about an hour, and it's basically dry. Very happy with the end result. Not too bad at all. There you have it, guys. That is the job complete. That's one inside of the door done. So on the next episode, we're probably going to tackle these doors behind us and try and get the insides of those doors done. And then we'll start on the outside, and then we'll probably head over towards the rest of the car and start prepping that. I'm not sure what angle I'm going to take on the rest of the car. I don't know whether or not I'm going to do the boot and the bonnet first, or if I start tackling the bodywork, or I pull the motor out. It could be either one of those. But anyway, thanks very much for tuning in once again and watching another episode, and I will see you on the next one. See you later.